Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Off Air with Kristen and Casey. Thanks again to Food City for sponsoring Off Air. And we are back after a week off. Both did some traveling last week, so good to be back. And the first part of this podcast is going to be all about talking about our trips, some highs, maybe some lows. Because usually there's always a little bit of both when you do some traveling.
That is so true. And we actually never usually take vacation at the same time, but this time it just happened to line up to where we were kind of gone for most of the time, like around the same time.
Yeah, but last week you did work Monday and Tuesday.
Yes, and you were off.
And I was off the entire week. And then I was back at work on Monday. You didn't come back till Tuesday of this week. So, yes, it did overlap quite a bit. But
so if you are an avid Channel 5 viewer and you were wondering where me and Casey were, well, now you're going to get to find out because you were at the beach.
Yeah, we'll start with who traveled closest.
Okay.
And that would be me going to the Outer Banks. So that just maybe tells you a little bit where Kristen went, but not even a competition. Yeah, I was at the Outer Banks with my family. There was 11 of us and a baby that all were staying in one house.
Wow.
Big giant house.
Okay, I didn't
think it was
know
like
that.
7 bedrooms. Everybody had their own bedroom. So, yeah, and then my cousin, who shares your birthday, born on the same day, the same year, Julie. Her and her husband have a daughter that is like 16 months old. So cute. She was there. Then Julie is also pregnant with their second child. They're going to have another girl. And she's actually due 2 weeks after Kelly is due. So her and Kelly are like right in the same lockstep of their pregnancy. Obviously, it's Kelly's first pregnancy. So my cousin's already been through it once. So, those 2 weeks apart, we're having a boy. My cousin's gonna have another girl.
That's kind of cool though, because they can talk about,
yes,
they can kind of talk about the stages that they're in.
Yeah, because my cousin lives in Pittsburgh, so they don't, get to see each other a lot. I mean, when we go back and visit Pittsburgh, obviously we will see her, and they were down here last summer for our wedding. But yeah, it's not like they see each other too often, so they were able to swap some stories, I'm sure, about that because they were kind of right on the same page with their pregnancy. So we had a nice time we stayed in Duck. If you're familiar with the Outer Banks, it's kind of in the northern
And you've stayed there before, right?
Yeah, not in Duck, but the Outer Banks. We used to, as a family, we used to go for probably like 5 or 6 years. We went every summer to the Outer Banks. Different part, we would stay in like Southern Shores. We stayed in Nags Head, Corolla one year, but this is the first time we actually stayed in Duck. So from the Tri-Cities, it's about a 7.5-hour drive from Bristol to Duck. So it was good weather. We had a great time. It did rain one day, like I think it was the Tuesday that we were gone. It rained like all day. I mean, literally woke up, it was raining, and it did not stop raining until like 7 or 8 o'clock at night.
Jeez. That's not normal for most. I feel like when you're at the beach, that's like kind of not normal.
Yeah, it was. It was, kind of a washout day. Then there were a couple other days where it did thunderstorm, but it was in the evening, like 8, 9, and 10 o'clock when it was already dark. Because obviously, this is the earliest also we've ever gone to the beach. Usually we would always go in June as a family, but obviously none of us are in school right now. So it was actually nicer because I think it was less crowded than it typically is because most schools are still going. So that was nice. Did a lot of walking on the beach.
So nice.
What we did is everyone took a turn making dinner one night for the family. Then we did go out once, but
what'd you make?
Well, Kelly and I, we did this.
You named Kelly.
Actually, it truly was a team effort. No, I mean, she, again, does a lot of the ingredient prep work, but I did quite a bit. We made this like sausage rigatoni pasta.
Yum.
So I browned the meat and she did the noodles. And then once the noodles were in with the meat, I was stirring it together there. So
I'm surprised that she didn't make her famous,
jambalaya. That's what a lot of the family said that. And it was like, I never even thought of that until we were already down there and she already had the ingredients for what she make. But the jambalaya takes a long time. So that would have been like an all day thing. And you don't want to do it when you're at the beach, like spend all day in the kitchen one day. So that's why we kind of did what we did. It was like everybody makes one day. So you can kind of be at the pool longer, be at the beach one day. But then, one day
that's
you're
really
going to.
fun.
So it all worked out. And then we did go out to dinner one night, and I got to play around the golf with my brother and my cousin Julie's husband, Chris. The three of us went and played golf and one time. So we had a good time, and then got back, and then when you get back, it's the laundry, it's grocery store, it's unpacking when you get back from vacations. Like you always need a vacation when you get back. But we were gone Saturday to Saturday. So we got back Saturday afternoon, kind of had Sunday to kind of.
That's the buffer day.
That was the buffer day.
You need at least a day, I feel like, to do that and to like get your life back in order.
Yeah.
Or at least I like
also
that.
had to also watch the PGA Championship on Sunday, watch Scotty Scheffler win the major. So yeah, Sunday was a nice relaxed day, then was back at it. So we had no travel issues, a little bit of traffic, but it's really not a bad drive from here. I mean, you go through Greensboro, Raleigh, like Durham area, and then it's kind of really gets country-ish until you get to the Outer Banks. So no travel troubles. So of the two of us, I think I had a little bit easier travel situation. So I went to the Outer Banks 7.5 hours. That was the closest. You went way further than that.
I did go a little bit further than that. I went to a place that I bet you've never heard of, Split.
No, never heard of it.
Split, Croatia.
I have heard of Croatia, but not Split.
I honestly had to look it up on a map because I wasn't sure. So,
why Croatia?
Well, let me tell you, Casey. So, my best friend is getting married. My best friend from high school, and she is a dual citizen. So she is Swedish American. I met her in high school. She was obviously living in Georgia at the time where we went to high school, but she is a dual citizen. So she also has Sweden citizenship. She speaks fluent Swedish and fluent English. So after she finished college and after she finished college, she went and got her master's degree in Sweden, and she's been there since. Well, in Sweden, the tradition is when you get married, which she's getting married in July, and when you get married, you have a bachelorette, but they actually call it like a hen party, I think.
A hen party?
Yeah, it's called a hen party.
A bunch of hens.
In Europe,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And so there, the hen party is traditionally a surprise. And it's the same for the men too. So if you had a bachelor party, I don't know what they call that, but if you had a bachelor party,
the rooster party,
it would also be a surprise. Okay. But what they do is it's crazy. They kidnap you. So like
when you say surprise, you mean the bride or groom has no idea?
No idea, nothing. You don't even know when it is most of the time. So you'll be like at your job, like, doing like a presentation, and all of a sudden everyone comes in and just grabs you and they take you away and you have no idea where you're going. So there's these crazy stories. A lot of the times they make you like dress in like chicken costumes or like something weird, or like, like a bunny or something. And like, you have to walk around. My friend, if you know her name is Leave the room. If you know her, she does not like that. Okay. That is not her. She is a planner. She likes everything planned out. She's a perfect organizational person. So we were like, okay, we can't do this to her because she would be off. Like she couldn't do it. So we did tell her like, okay, this is when the bachelorette party is going to be, but we didn't tell her where it was going to be. So then the rest of the bridesmaids kind of got on like a Zoom call, and we've been planning this for a while. And Croatia was actually a destination that me and her other friend that lives in America could get to fairly reasonably. Okay. So Croatia it is. Now, at first we were going to go to Dubrovnik. Have you heard of Dubrovnik?
Nope.
We were going to go there, but then we found out that Split is a little bit more fun for like a bachelorette type situation. So we ended up going there. It took me altogether like 14 hours of travel one way.
But you had some issues getting there.
Yes, I did. It was terrible. Okay, so I was supposed to go from Thursday to Monday. But I left Wednesday. So
they're ahead of us time.
They're ahead of us. They're 6 hours ahead.
Okay.
So basically if you leave on Wednesday in the middle of the night, you'll get there Thursday, in the evening time, basically. So that was the plan. Also, Tri-Cities is just hard to get to Europe from. It's just hard. It's just difficult. So I decided to drive to Charlotte, and I was going to go Charlotte, Dulles, Munich, Split.
Okay.
Okay.
That's 4 flights.
4 flights. But I booked it all through United, so it's all through their partner airline.
Okay.
Okay. So I get to
drive to Charlotte.
I drive to Charlotte, 3 hours.
All good.
Perfect. The only thing is my GPS took me through like Mountain City and Boone. I don't know if that's the right way to do it. It is faster, but it was kind of
I
like
think going up 70.
windy. I went through like Damascus and everything. I was like, I don't know about that. So get to the airport fine, sitting there. My flight takes off at 7:30 in the evening.
On Wednesday.
I'm there like 2 hours early. Get me a little Starbucks. Sit down, reading my book. It gets to be about 7. Still no plane, which is a bad sign.
Yeah.
Because you should be boarding by then.
Yes.
So then it updates my app and it says, okay, we're going to get there late. Now your time is like 9 o'clock arrival, which my other flight from Dulles left at 10:20.
Okay.
So it said like, no, it said 9:30. And I was like, okay, it's going to be tight. Well, an hour goes by, still no flight. So it finally got to the point where it was like 2 hours delayed. And the United people got there and they said, well, there's a lot of people making this connection. There was a lot of people that were on that flight that were also going to Munich. And so everyone was kind of freaking out and we were all kind of talking to each other. And the United people came and they said, they're going to hold the plane because there's so many people. There's like 15 people here that need to get to Munich. So we were like, okay, great. So we got on the flight to Dulles. Well, they didn't hold the plane. They left. So we missed our flight.
So you land in Dulles and your plane to Munich is over the Atlantic.
Yep. Okay. And my friend, or that was supposed to meet me, like the other girl that was also from America going on this trip, we were supposed to connect there and ride together. So she went without me.
So she was on the plane.
She was on the plane.
And she couldn't get the plane held for you.
Correct.
Okay.
So they do rebook you, but the only thing that they had available for rebooking was Thursday at 5:30 p.m. And it is like almost midnight in Dulles.
On Wednesday night.
And the only thing they could get me was Thursday at like 5 in the evening.
It was like 17 hours later.
17 hours later. So I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? It's midnight in the Dulles airport. I'm like, I have an old college roommate that lives in DC. So like I thought about calling her and I did text her later and she was like, why didn't you call me? Because I didn't, because I was afraid I didn't want to wake her up. But so I then am like, okay, I'll just get a hotel room. You know, there's nothing I can do. I called every hotel room in the DC area trying to get a hotel. But apparently where we were delayed because of the weather, everyone was getting hotel rooms. So there was nothing available. I mean, I have never, ever been in a situation where there was no hotel room. Zero.
No more room in the inn, huh?
None. And so I was calling and calling and calling and calling. And when you call these people, you don't get like the front desk. You know, you get like a third party where they book you. Oh my gosh, it was terrible. I spent like at least 2 hours calling. So finally I get this call and this lady's like, oh, there's one room available at the Holiday Inn in Manassas or something. So I'm like, okay, I'll take it. So like she takes down my card. I get an Uber, go there, get to the front desk. The guy's like, we don't have any room available. I'm like, what? And so I'm pretty sure I went like this. I was like, oh my gosh. And he goes, don't cry, don't cry. And I was like, I'm not going to cry. But I was like, then maybe I should cry. I'm like, maybe if I cry, they'll give me a room. So then I was like,
a sympathy room.
I was like, I mean, it's just been a long day. And he was like, we're going to find you something. We're going to find you something. So shout out to that guy. Now that hotel was also under construction.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Half of it. So he takes me through the construction. He's like, let me show you something. He takes me through the construction. We're going through a hallway. There's like all these boxes, everything, like the ceilings coming in. And then he like takes me down a hall where like that hall was like finished. And he opened the door and he was like, will this be okay? So it was like, I had to go through a war zone to get there. But like, I was like, at this point, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it. So I ended up having to pay $200 for a hotel room that I wasn't even supposed to make. And I missed a whole day of my trip because that's just how it goes. That's traveling for you.
Especially international travel.
Oh my gosh. And my checkout time was at 12. So it wasn't like I could sleep in the hotel room until like 3:00 and then go to the airport. Like I had to be out of there by 12. So I still ended up waiting like 5 hours in the airport to board my next flight. So then it gets even better. I get to my next flight. this next flight left from Dulles to Vienna, Austria, and then Austria to Croatia.
So you never made it to Germany?
Never made it. Not this time, at least. So I'm like, okay, well, I get to go on the plane, and I only carry on bags because I don't want to deal with checking bags because you just never know what's going to happen. Well, the lady stops me, and she's like, we're checking everyone's carry-on bags because this flight is so full and there's not enough room. So everyone's carry-ons have to be checked. So I'm like, okay. And she's like, so this bag will get there at your destination. Like, it'll be there at your destination. I'm like, okay. Go to Vienna, stop, have an hour, get on my next flight to Croatia. Get to Split, which the plane to Croatia to was a little sketch. Like, it was so tiny. I was like, oh my gosh. It was probably the tiniest plane I've ever been on. But get to Split, get to the airport, get there, stand at the baggage carousel. Guess whose bag never comes?
Around it goes.
Mine.
Kristen's bag.
Not
on the rotator.
Everyone leaves. It's just me in the Split airport because this is a tiny airport. So I'm sitting there, just me. No bag.
And is this Friday morning now?
This is Friday morning at 11:30 in the morning.
Their time in Split.
Their time in Split. So I'm like, lovely. So I go to the like lost and found, and I talk to them, and they're like, well, look, let's see what we can find out. So they look up my bag and they say, yep, it says it's still in Vienna. Like, they never put it on the plane to Croatia, but they were like, but they're gonna put it on the next plane to Split. Which thankfully there was another flight from Vienna to Split. Okay. But it didn't do me any good because I still didn't have a bag. So they were like, I was like, well, when does that plane land? 3:00.
It's 11:30.
And it's 11:30. And the Airbnb where we were staying in Split was about 45 minutes away or 40 minutes away. So it was like, I don't want to go all the way to the Airbnb and then have to turn around and come back to the airport. That's just a waste of money. Yeah. So guess who waited in another airport for 3 hours until her bag arrived from Vienna? Me. So that was the travel troubles. It was pretty awful. After that, I was pretty tired because the flight to Vienna was 8.5 hours.
From Dulles.
Okay. And then another hour layover, and then another basically 45 minutes to an hour to Split. But the trip, all in all, it was worth it. It was beautiful. We did
So you had to kind of split it. Once you got there, it was awesome.
Once I got there, it was awesome, but it was go, go, go. Like we were, this was a trip. It was not a vacation. We were trying to make the most out of everything. So as soon as I got there, I didn't get there until like 4 or 5 o'clock. Well, we had a winery tour at 6.
Okay.
So I like showered, dressed, went to the winery tour, which was awesome. Fun fact, the Zinfandel grape is originated in Croatia. So they have great wine and cheeses and things like that.
Who knew?
So we did that. And then the next day we had to be up at 6 a.m. for an ATV tour.
Oh.
We drove ATVs through like the mountains.
Okay.
And so,
were the hills alive?
The hills were alive. The hills were alive. And oh my gosh, it was so beautiful, but it's just so funny that trip was funny to me too, because it was like, there's no, like, we didn't sign a waiver, they just pop you on some guy's ATV and like give you a quick tutorial on how it works. And we were off. Like, so funny. And we like went to his house, and he like at the end like had snacks out for us and was like, here's my parents' liquor that they make. And like, it was just crazy. But so people are very welcoming there.
Okay.
But we did that. We took a ferry to see one of the little islands. I did get in the water. It's the Adriatic Sea.
Okay.
I did swim even though it was freezing, but I felt like I had to do it. So did that. So all in all, great trip. My friend had a great time. She was so surprised. She had no idea we chose Croatia. And I would highly recommend it to anyone because it was beautiful. Never would have had that on my bucket list, but it was amazing. Food was great. They do olive oil there too, because it's like kind of near the Mediterranean. So beautiful, beautiful country. But
any travel troubles coming home?
No,
of course
coming
not.
home.
Not coming home.
Coming home, it was fine. Now going to Charlotte, we did have to like sit on the tarmac for a minute, and I was like, "Oh, here it goes." But it ended up being okay. It was totally great. That trip, the Newark airport, I flew into Newark on the way back.
That's the one where they're saying like the planes are falling off radar. And,
yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I was like, lovely. Got a deal on it though. So got to Newark, and that airport is just nuts though. I mean, it is like bustling airport, and the customs line to get back into America, like I was in the United States custom line because they have like a non-citizen and a citizen line. So I was in the citizen line. There was at least 2,000 people in front of me, at least. So it took a minute. So like if you land in Newark, you better have some time in between flights. It's not like a quick process. And then I had to take a train and a shuttle to get in my next gate.
To fly to Charlotte.
Then
you had to drive back home.
Yes. And I thought I was going to fall asleep in the car. I almost like thought about pulling over and like taking a nap because I was so tired and like I'm still a little.
I mean, when Kristen came
yesterday,
to work
I was messed up.
On Tuesday, when she came back to work, when we come in at 2:30 in the afternoon, and she was telling, I didn't really hear much about your travel because we were like, you were saying for the podcast. Yeah. So I know you told some other people, but we had a little Cliff Notes version, but you were doing okay, for the early shows. We had some active weather yesterday. So we actually didn't have a 5:30 show. It was all weather. We did the 6 and you're like, man, I'm just like so tired. Like,
it hit me.
I don't even know if I might end up taking a half of a sick day and not even come back to work tonight because they were dragging. Then you end up coming back, and then like at 11 o'clock last night during the show, during a commercial break, she's like this on the desk, like cat naps in commercial breaks because her body clock was like at 5 a.m. from Croatia time. So she really was a trooper to come back to work the day after. Really, I mean, you got home. It was after midnight, like it was Monday night into Tuesday.
I got home like 1:40 a.m. our time.
Early Tuesday morning. And then came into work that afternoon.
Yeah, got Riley to school on Tuesday, did everything, and then so you need the buffer day. I probably should have taken Tuesday just to sleep and like recuperate from everything, but I was like, no, I'm gonna hustle through, which I don't know. I've got sick time and vacation. Like I could have taken the day, but I was like, nope, I didn't want to leave you all by yourself.
And also, but this was a bachelorette trip for Leave's wedding. So the wedding is going to be in Sweden later this summer. So you're going back to Europe. You're going to do it again.
Yeah.
In July.
Yeah. And I'm already looking at flights, and I think I will go to Frankfurt that time. So
okay.
I'll get to see the Frankfurt airport again.
Maybe.
Yeah. Let's hope. But maybe that's why I went through that. Sometimes, I like to believe in life that like when you have things like that happen, that it's meant to be. Like for some reason, I was not meant to be on that flight. Don't know why, but I wasn't meant to be on it. So. Well,
and also too, if you're gonna get delayed a little bit, it would probably be better for a bachelorette trip than the actual wedding. Because if you get delayed for a wedding, you're screwed.
Absolutely. And I think I did learn that this time around. Like I'm probably gonna leave Wednesday.
Just think about buffer day.
Because the wedding's not till Saturday. Okay. So if I leave on Wednesday, I'll get there by Saturday.
You'll get there by Saturday. Yeah. But if you wait till Thursday, it could get a little dicey.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, okay, Wednesday it is. So.
All right.
But yeah, there you go.
And now we're back at WCYB a week later. All right. Time to bring in Ethan. If you remember our last pod 2 weeks ago, we started something new where we do the blind resume ranking. We did movies 2 weeks ago. So Ethan's back. Last time we at least knew what the topic was going to be before we started the podcast. This time we have no idea. So Ethan's going to throw this on us for the first time, and we'll rank whatever topic he gives us, blind resume 1 through 5.
Hello, Ethan.
Hello. So on this podcast, we love our food, and I'm assuming you're about to eat something here in a minute, probably from Europe. Another thing we love arguing about is fruit. So we're going to rank it.
Ooh. All right. We do rank fruit.
All righty.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Number 1 is pineapple.
Oof.
Now, just for a quick refresher, if you don't know how this works, Ethan's going to gives us pineapple. Kristen and I have to rank pineapple 1 to 5, 1 being the greatest, 5 being the worst. But the catch is we don't know what Ethan is going to throw out next for the fruit.
All right. I'll go first. So I love pineapple. It's elite. I also have made the argument that banana is a top fruit, so I want to hold out for banana, but pineapple is an excellent number one choice. So I'm going to go number one on pineapple.
Whoa, wow. Okay.
Because I'm afraid that banana is not going to make the list. And if
Okay.
banana doesn't make the list, I'll be really sad. So pineapple's one.
I definitely, when you think of pineapple, the first word that comes to my mind is exotic. It is an exotic fruit. I do love pineapple as well. I also like it on some pizza.
Me too.
But there's one or two that I like above, so I'm going to hope they're on I'm going to go 2 for pineapple, but I am a big pineapple fan.
Number 2, we got mango.
Mango. Okay, I like mango, but mango is not my favorite. I think it's got kind of like a weird, it's just a lot of work to eat it. See, I also rank these fruit on like.
Well, pineapple's not easy. I mean, if you're the one.
Yeah, but I feel like
cutting it open.
I feel like pineapple like is more accessible, like cut up in chunks.
Yes.
You know, like you can eat a can of pineapple. That's real easy.
Yeah.
Or you can just go to the store and get the already chopped up.
You can.
Like you don't really see mango already chopped up for you at the store. So you just got to buy the mango and chop it yourself. So, but it is pretty decent. I'm going to go 4 on the mango.
4 on mango. I am actually going to join you with a 4 ranking. It's not something I eat a lot of. Enjoy it when I do eat it. I'm like, yeah, this is good, but I'm never like, boy, I need to have a mango today.
I like the mango flavored stuff though.
I'm going to go 4 as well for mango.
Like a mango marg.
We got apple at number 3.
Oh man, you love an apple.
I love an apple. You know the old saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Are you going to go 1?
Apple is not my favorite fruit. There's
you eat an apple a day, though.
No, I do not.
Yes, you do. You're always eating an apple.
No, I eat probably 3 to 4 a week, I would say. I do not eat them every day. Sometimes I bring one to work. I never end up eating it. It just stays in my lunch little box thing that I have. I'm going to go 3 for apple. I'm going to go 3 for apple because I'm hoping that my favorite fruit is coming down the line. But apple, I had to, I'm going to go 3 for apple.
I'm going 5 on apple.
Oh,
I mean, apple's fine, but like apple's not. I mean, it's just okay. But I do not eat 3 to 4.
Well, if it's okay, you wouldn't list it as 5. But that's like the worst.
It's not the worst fruit, like the worst
you, it is.
ever. Well, out of these lists. Okay.
All right, so Kristen's going 5. I won 3.
All right, next up, I got grapes.
I knew that was coming. Okay, grapes. I do like grapes. I probably eat grapes more than I eat apples, and I would say that grapes is good in a lot of things, like chicken salad. If there's a chicken salad and it doesn't have a grape in it, I don't want it. You can send it back. It's got to have grapes in it. So grapes will be what do I have left? 3?
You have a 2 and a 3.
3.
I have 1 and 5 left.
Mm-hmm.
And this is
You're
risky
taking
now.
a risk.
I know, because if I go 5 on grape, then whatever he says next is my favorite fruit. But if I go 1 and he gives me my favorite fruit, I bury it at the end of the line.
Yep.
I'm gonna put grapes at 5. I do enjoy grapes. I actually have some in the fridge at home. I had some yesterday, but I cannot put grapes as my favorite. So I'm gonna put that at 5.
Here we go. Number 1 for Casey.
Is your favorite fruit a banana, Casey?
Yes.
It is
banana.
No, it's not, but it is like I'm happy with that being number 1.
You are.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it is in the top 3
Strawberry
for me.
is your number 1.
Strawberry is my number 1 and never made the cut. But I do have a banana almost like an apple. I try and rotate between apple, banana daily. Sometimes I have them both in the same day. So yes, I am happy with banana at number 1.
Banana, I love banana. I would venture to say that it is easily probably my number 1, but I put pineapple there because didn't want to I thought about these things a little bit more, but I'm okay with banana being 2. But I do eat a banana like weekly.
Just once a week?
Well, not once a week, but I'm saying like more than any of the fruit on the list. I probably eat a banana more.
Okay.
We've talked about this before. Banana is elite fruit. It is easy to eat. It is cheap. It is delicious. It is nutritious. It's good in bread. It's good by itself. It's good in cereal. Banana is awesome. That's all I have to say.
So the list, to recap, Kristen goes pineapple,
banana, grapes, mango, apple.
I go banana, pineapple, apple, mango, grapes. Ethan, I guess there's no like IMBD rankings for this, so I'm assuming your rankings will say who's the winner here.
Do you have a coin? Coin flip or something? I don't know.
No, you gotta pick.
We'll go Casey again.
Okay,
Wow. Okay, Ethan, what's your what is it? The apple that she had so low?
This is not fair. This is not a fair.
I mean, I think the apple. I think that hurt you putting apple at 5.
Think you picked Casey both weeks because you like Casey better.
Well, the movie one was not really. That was more of an objective. These were the numbers. But this, Ethan, right? I mean, come on, speak for yourself here. What was the reason here?
Yeah, the apple too low.
Apple too low.
Bananas are good. You got me convinced on that, but
see, I'm convinced.
But mango, Patrick Mahomes a fruit.
No.
Okay, that's back to a conversation we had months ago on this podcast. Chris and I are considered old in the newsroom because we like banana. The young kids don't think bananas.
Yeah,
but Ethan obviously came over to our side.
They said that banana was the Ben Roethlisberger of fruit, and mango is the Patrick Mahomes of fruit.
Yeah, that was the debate we had back like last winter, I think.
I think that's dumb, but whatever.
All right, Ethan, thank you. Great
Ethan.
job with the topic. Now we're going to finish up this podcast with a snack, and I didn't even think about what Ethan said is your snack from Europe.
I'm so mad that he told you that because I was going to surprise you, but then he can't.
Yeah.
So yes, it is. I went to the Croatian supermarket.
Oh my gosh.
And picked out a bunch of things that I've never had either.
Okay.
And I also did a little research to find out what Croatians like some of the typical Croatian snacks, because obviously when you go to the supermarket, there's a lot of things that it's kind of overwhelming because there's a lot of amazing things you want to try, but some of it's like, Dutch or Italian or like whatever. So I wanted to pick only Croatian snacks.
Okay.
So that's what we did today. So the first thing we're going to start off with is the Jaffa cake. Jaffa. This is a typical Croatian snack. And if I could read Croatian, I could tell you what it is.
Well, there's a picture of an orange.
Yes,
on
it's
it
an orange and this. So it's a chocolate covered biscuit with orange jelly.
Oh, okay. I'm looking forward to this.
Okay. So we're going to
bought this at a supermarket in Croatia.
I bought it at the supermarket in Croatian with my euros.
Yes, what's the euro?
So that's another thing too. I went a little crazy because the euro is 1-to-1, like 1-to-1, and so like if it's 12 euros, it's 12 US dollars. Okay. But Ethan was telling me that the euro is actually stronger than the US dollar. But everything I would say is cheaper still. Okay. So like this cost me like $2 maybe.
And in a US store, it'd probably be like $4 or $5.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh my gosh. When I went to the airport, so the airport in Vienna had some of those, I like those, I don't know how you pronounce it, but Haribo gummy bears.
Oh, the gummy bears, yeah.
I love those.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite snack.
Yeah, no,
so of course that's everywhere in Europe because it's a European thing. So they were like $4 in Vienna when I stopped for a giant bag. The Newark airport had one in the vending machine, $7.99.
Probably for like a bag this big.
Yes, it was ridiculous. All right, the Jaffa cake from
Jaffa.
Croatia.
How do you spell Jaffa?
Jaffa.
All right.
That is not what I thought the texture was going to be. It was very...
I wonder how they get the orange flavor
in there.
I don't see an orange in here.
It's like right there.
Oh, okay.
You can taste it though, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
You like it?
I like these. I feel like it's like a healthy snack. You're eating an orange. It's not a cookie. It's an orange with a little chocolate on it.
Very orangey.
And graham cracker crust.
Kind of reminds me of those like chocolate balls that taste like orange. If you've ever had those.
I've
You know what I'm talking about?
No. I'm going to give this a 7.
5. Probably want to eat again.
You want to eat those again?
Probably not.
Oh.
But interesting.
I like them.
The Jaffa cake. Okay, next. We will try Doma Dacia. It's a cookie.
Okay.
Now, this is a Croatian cookie, and I'm told that they eat this a lot with like tea or coffee or something like that. But these are very well known there. And they're chocolate.
All right, they're like in like triangle here, nice proper triangles, sizes.
Mine's like a
Great for
scallop.
like
They're different shapes.
The paper football game there, yeah.
This is the original. It's kind of like those things that you brought.
It's kind of like a Pepperidge Farm cookie. To me.
Yes. Yeah. Or the ones that you brought.
Oh, the fudge cookies.
Yes.
The EL fudge.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I think these are a little dry. I'll give these a 5.
5.
What about you?
6.
Yeah, I like the oranges one that has a little more flavor.
Okay. And now we're going to try
This
a
is-
chocolate bar. European chocolate.
Oh,
Okay.
oh my God. Holy
So, well, you got to pick one.
heck. Okay.
I'm going to give you a choice. So we can try the Dorina that has the cookie in it.
Okay.
So they make this chocolate bar with this cookie in the chocolate. That's one. Creamy hazelnut or milk chocolate with hazelnuts.
We'll do milk chocolate with hazelnuts.
All right.
Because this one we just had in the cookie
in the-
form. So
in the-
why? Yeah.
If I can open it.
Croatia makes it tough to open their package in there. A good, solid product there. You
could try it.
Son of a nutcracker, right?
0 out of 10 on opening it.
I'm gonna break.
No. All right, we're gonna use my teeth. Got it.
We need to work on our hand strength, I guess. Thank you.
All right. Mm-hmm. They just do chocolate over there really good. So good. 10 out of 10. Would try again.
A 10.
That's great.
That's the best thing you've ever had in this podcast.
Well, I mean-
Better than tipping the scale right over here.
No, I'll give that a 10 too.
I'm giving this.
It's
I'm giving this a 6.
Really?
I like the orange one better.
You like the Jaffa cake?
Yeah, I do.
Wow. All right. Well, now you can say
Well,
you've tried Croatian snacks.
I'll tell you what. Thank you for that. Is definitely the greatest lengths you've ever gone to bring back a snack on this show all the way to Croatia for this podcast.
I really did. I thought I'm gonna try. Oh wait, did I bring the other thing? I felt like I had one.
That's enough. Let's save one for next week.
Okay.
That's plenty. Goodness gracious. Gonna have
Next week, more Croatian.
yeah, more Croatian.
I went a little crazy, but like the supermarket is so fun to me because you
But you
just get
said
to,
all those things are cheaper over there too, so you can buy more.
yeah, if it fits in your suitcase.
Oh, good point.
No jams, jellies, drinks.
Okay.
So there you go.
All right. Well, thanks again to Food City for sponsoring Off Air. Glad to be back again. After
Glad to be back.
travel troubles for you. Both had some time off. Enjoy your holiday weekend, Memorial Day. Be safe out there. If you're going to be at the lake, pool, cooking out, be safe. And we'll see you next week. It'll be the final podcast for the month of May.